and dry. Now, when you're applying your first coat of paint, I can freehand up to the carpet quite easily, but if you're nervous about it, then if you have a 12-inch drywall knife, they usually will slide underneath fairly easy, and you just get a little bit of paint on your brush. And you can use that to help you not get it on the baseboard. You just move that along. Now, I don't like using these, but if you're worried about it getting on the carpet, then that's an easy solution. I like to use these small brushes because then I'm not going to end up putting it on too heavy. And for this, 3 1/4 inch or 3 1/8 inch baseboard, you really don't need a big, wide brush. So what I do is just drag the brush so it's just the tip gets down to the right before the carpet. But if you're new, then I would suggest using something underneath. Just drag your brush over a few times, just to even it out. There. Now let that dry before you apply your second coat. Once you've given the prime sufficient amount of time to dry, the first coat is nice and dry, then it's time to apply the second coat. So yeah, you don't want to put too much on again. You don't want to have any runs as it starts to dry. Now, if you take your time, you can easily not get any on the carpet. I'd start with the heavier bit up here, and then as it's thinned out, then come down to the bottom of the carpet. I usually like to just drag it all the way along, and that gives a nice smooth finish. Now you want to just check it once in a while, make sure there's no runs going down the baseboard. But now I'm going to let that dry, then I'll apply my tape and my first coat of the cutting in up to the baseboard. Okay, this has had a few hours to dry, so I like to have it fairly hard before I put my tape on. So this is a fairly good tape to use. There's different tapes out on the market. So what you want to do is just get that set onto the top of the baseboard, as close to the wall as possible. Now, I like to do this when I'm painting the trim and the wall. Just put some tape on. I find that it gives the crispest, the most straight line. Then take something hard. I use this little tip on the end of my knife. You're not pressing too hard, you're just ensuring that the edge is completely tight. Then you want to put your first coat of paint on. You want to feather it out so you don't have it too built up. And I know what I like to do is remove the tape right away. I know some people might worry about it dripping when I put my other coat of paint on the wall, but I use such a good quality roller, I really don't get drips. If anything, it'll fall onto the floor as opposed to the trim, and you don't want to leave that tape on too long to get your best line. You want to remove that tape right away. And there, that's a very nice straight line. And I'll show you what I do for the second coat once that is, you know, dry and ready for recoating. Okay, that's had a few hours to dry. Applying the second coat is pretty simple. All you want to do is just go above it. Since you have a nice straight line from the tape, it's really easy just to get down fairly close. You don't want to go beyond the line. And just feather it out. There. Now that is finished.